Hi everyone, and welcome to another installment of Party Smarts, your source for the latest in store operations, policies, and procedures. Today we'll be examining a subject we take very seriously: inappropriate behavior at work, better known as workplace harassment. Across all companies in our family, you can expect to work in an environment where you're treated with dignity and respect. The company views harassment, including sexual harassment, to be a form of misconduct. We maintain and enforce a zero-tolerance policy that prohibits harassment in the workplace. Now, research shows us that the vast majority of harassment problems happen because of a lack of understanding rather than intent. To that end, the purpose of this video is simple: to raise the awareness of all of our associates, whether they work in the office or in the field, and to create a professional workplace where all associates can feel respected. We'll do this by explaining current laws in terms you'll understand and give you several common sense guidelines so you can avoid crossing the line and committing acts that might be interpreted as harassment or discrimination. We'll also detail exactly what actions you should take if you're a victim of or a witness to harassment. Let's start with a simple definition. Harassment can be physical or verbal actions that slander or show hostility toward other people because of their differences. Things like unwelcome, derogatory, or inappropriate remarks, slurs, jokes, or comments which target a person's race, color, age, religion, gender, sexual orientation, ancestry, national origin, and other categories protected by the law. You may not know that it also includes a person's disability or even his or her marital, veteran, or citizenship status. Harassment can create an offensive, intimidating working environment that can negatively affect an associate's work performance or employment opportunities. As you can see from the previous definition, there are different types of harassment. Let's first discuss sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is defined as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature where either 1. Submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of an individual's employment, or 2. Submission to or rejection of such conduct by an individual is used as a basis for employment decisions, or 3. Such conduct has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. It's often difficult to distinguish between invited, uninvited but welcome, offensive but tolerated, and outright unwelcome sexual advances or conduct. Put simply, unwelcome conduct is not invited and is regarded as undesirable, intimidating, or offensive. Sexual harassment also includes the display of posters, cartoons, drawings, or other written or visual materials of a sexual nature that affects an associate's job performance or security, or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive workplace environment. Here are a few additional key points that will help you better understand sexual harassment. First, be aware that sexual conduct between two consenting associates may be deemed undesirable or offensive by a third person viewing or overhearing the conduct. Laws provide that it must not be assumed that conduct is welcome because a person may have welcomed it in the past. Finally, sexual harassment can be female to male, male to female, and/or female to female. Now that we've defined sexual harassment, let's review specific examples of conduct prohibited by the company's zero-tolerance policy. Intentionally impeding or blocking someone's movement, giving unwanted personal gifts, pressuring someone for dates or sexual favors, leering, staring, or suggestive looks, making sexual gestures with a hand or through body movements, offensive language, looking a person up and down, teasing, jokes, remarks, or questions regarding sexual topics, leaning over, cornering, standing close, hanging around, or brushing up against someone, physical contacts such as touching or poking another person, sexual comments about a person's clothing, anatomy, or appearance, the use of pet names or referring to adults as girl, boy, babe, hunk or honey, questions about an individual's personal or sexual life, suggestive or offensive material such as pictures or posters, and conversations filled with sexual innuendo or double meanings. Let's take a look at a specific example of sexual harassment in the workplace that's strictly prohibited by the company's zero-tolerance policy.
Hey, Sugar, can I help you with that?
Yeah, you can help me, John, but my name's Beth. You think you can remember that, Beth?
Oh, come on, honey. It's a compliment. I don't mean anything by it. You're too sensitive.
Just cool it, John. I don't like it.
All right, all right. It fits you, you know.
What? What fits me?
The name Sugar, 'cause you're so sweet. Oh, and Johnny sure loves his sugar.
Where do these go?
Let's see what we have here.
John.
Yeah, Sugar. I mean, honey. I mean, Beth.
Get your hands off of me, you jerk.
What'd I do? It was nothing. You know, Johnny loves his sugar.
To take this concept one step further, federal courts have established two types of harassment. They are tangible employment action and hostile work environment. First, tangible employment action. Tangible employment action harassment was formerly known as quid pro quo, a Latin phrase that means this for that. It involves a supervisor or manager and can be in the form of threats or rewards. This type of harassment occurs when a supervisor or manager requests a sexual favor, date, or personal contact in exchange for something, usually avoiding a job detriment or a promise of a job favor. Power is the operative word here. The supervisor or manager has power and authority over the victim and abuses that power by virtue of the prohibited proposition. Here are two additional key points. Tangible employment action harassment can include off-duty or off-premises conduct by a supervisor. The company's zero-tolerance policy strictly prohibits all conduct that may be deemed tangible employment action harassment. Now that we've defined tangible employment action harassment, let's watch another specific example of conduct that's prohibited by the company's zero-tolerance policy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, did you see that job posting that went up this morning?
Oh, got it right here. I was just looking at it.
You know, I thought of you right away when I saw it. So what do you think? Are you going to go for it? Are you going to apply?
You know it. I mean, I've been waiting on this a long time. Listen, you think I got a good chance at it?
Oh, you know, I could pull a few strings for you if you want. We could discuss it over dinner. Tonight, my place?
I don't think so. I mean, really, I'd really rather
You
not.
know,
It's
I
just
don't think
that-
you really understand, Mark. So let me explain it this way. If we can arrange to have dinner on occasion, I can see to it you get your promotion. But if we don't, I just don't see it happening. See you at 8.
Let's now discuss hostile work environment, the other type of harassment mentioned earlier. Simply defined, hostile work environment harassment is unwelcome conduct which unreasonably interferes with an individual's job performance or creates an intimidating, offensive, or hostile work environment. This type of harassment is indeed more difficult to recognize. Think of it as atmospheric type harassment. For example, the atmosphere of the workplace might be polluted with sexual comments, conduct, or innuendo. If sexually charged jokes are the order of the day, the atmosphere may be polluted and may be sufficiently severe and pervasive to constitute a hostile work environment. Here are a few additional key points that help further explain hostile work environment harassment. A claim of hostile work environment may result from inappropriate off-premises and off-duty conduct where both management and non-management associates are present. An associate taking a break and not participating in the viewing and discussion of sexually explicit pictures may claim hostile work environment harassment. The company's zero-tolerance policy prohibits any conduct, even an isolated event, that may create a hostile work environment. The company and the courts will always apply what we call the reasonable person standard to all harassment claims, sexual or otherwise. If a reasonable person would deem conduct unwelcome, intimidating, or offensive, the conduct is prohibited and may be deemed harassment. What's the bottom line? It's the impact, not the intent, that really matters. What matters most is how the conduct makes another person feel. And remember, the company's zero-tolerance policy prohibits any type of sexual harassment in the workplace, whether the conduct is welcome or not. Does this mean that all fun is out of order in the workplace? Certainly not. But if the fun is at the expense of another, it is risky. Keep in mind that sexual harassment isn't the only form of harassment that can create a hostile work environment. Let's take a look at a specific example of harassment based on the protected characteristics of national origin and ancestry that's strictly prohibited by the company's zero-tolerance policy.
Hey, Dean. Yeah, I hear you got a new hire for me, starting, next Monday, right? Well, what's he like? You gotta be kidding me. Another one? Don't get me wrong, they're good workers and everything, but I mean, lately they've been coming out of the woodwork. We've hired 3 in the last month alone. Hey, what's his name anyway? Is it Juan or Jose? Hey, does he speak English? Or do I have to learn the old Española? Yeah, looks like it's going to be tacos at the department luncheon again, huh? Oh, man. All right. Yeah, I'll be ready for him. Yeah, 7 a.m. on Monday. Okay. Hey, Alonso. What's shaking, huh?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
What? What's with you? Is it something I said? Oh, gee.
Any associate can raise good faith concerns about harassment without the fear of reprisal or retaliation. The company will not permit retaliation against an associate because that individual raises a good faith complaint of harassment. In fact, retaliation for reporting a violation is itself a violation of our company policy. If you find a person's behavior or language to be offensive, you may choose to tell him or her to stop. If the conduct continues, or you prefer not to deal directly with the offender, you should promptly report it to your immediate supervisor. If you're not comfortable with that, you should contact your immediate supervisor's manager, your human resources manager, or the Department of Human Resources. In all cases, the corporate office of each company in our family will promptly investigate any claims made. Violations of company policy will result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Whether management or non-management, you can help set the example in creating and maintaining a respectful workplace. Here are 6 simple guidelines that will help all of us avoid harassment in the workplace. First, watch what you say. Don't make jokes or comments that could be offensive to others. Imagine that your spouse or loved one is listening. Would that person approve? Would you want your comments printed in the company newsletter? Of course not. Second, be oversensitive. Don't participate in unprofessional behavior. If in doubt about what's appropriate, ask your supervisor or someone in HR. If you're still in doubt, don't do it. Third, document all incidents. When incidents occur in your office or store, document them. Write down the who, what, where, and when of each incident. Fourth, be consistent. Don't laugh at a joke one day and call it offensive the next. If you're in charge, don't grant some associates favors that others don't enjoy. Treat all fellow associates with courtesy, dignity, and respect. Fifth, take things seriously. Be alert. All complaints should be documented and taken seriously, no matter what you believe to be true. And sixth, practice the new golden rule, which says, treat others as you would like to be treated with courtesy, dignity, and respect. And if you do find that your behavior offends someone, remember that apologies go a long way toward restoring goodwill. Now it's time to ask and answer several common questions regarding harassment in the workplace.
Is there a stereotypical harasser? How can one be identified?
There is no typical harasser, and you really can't make a positive identification until the harassment is committed. Anyone can harass, just as anyone can be a target of harassment.
What do most people want as a result of filing a harassment claim?
Studies show that the majority of people just want the harassment to stop.
How can harassment be prevented?
Of course, the best method to stop harassment is to prevent it from happening at all. Prevention begins with education and an attitude that harassment will not be tolerated. That's the attitude we have across all our companies.
Is it appropriate to get confrontational with the harasser?
It's always appropriate to confront the harasser, but inappropriate to be overly confrontational. Tell him or her the conduct is not acceptable and inappropriate. However, do it in a professional manner. Don't engage in loud, abusive conduct of your own. Now let's look at an example and be sure to notice how the associate properly responds to the coworker and reports the incident.
Here, let me help you with this. It's gotta be heavy.
Thanks, but I can manage.
You sure? I don't want you breaking a hip or anything.
Really, I'm fine.
Okay, if you say so. Oh, before I forget, happy birthday. I said happy birthday.
I heard you, Terry. Thanks.
Here. Does this help? Can you see it better?
That's it. Look, you've been hassling me about my age for quite some time now, and frankly, I'm getting pretty tired of it. Stop with all the jokes.
Oh, you having a senior moment here?
I'm calling HR.
Hey, you're gonna miss the cake and ice cream.
Hi, Human Resources? Yeah, I want to talk to someone about a situation that happened.
Now it's time to briefly summarize what you've learned today. First and foremost, it's the responsibility of every associate to help ensure our stores and facilities promote and foster an atmosphere free from workplace harassment. Second, to avoid behavior that offends others, practice the new golden rule, which says, treat others as you would like to be treated with courtesy, dignity, and respect. And third, associates who object to behaviors of others should ask the offender to stop. If that fails, then immediately report their concerns to a member of management or human resources. Finally, if we all act with courtesy, dignity, and respect, we'll comply with all the laws governing workplace behavior, and we'll make each company in our family the best place to work and shop. If you have questions about any of the material discussed today, feel free to contact your Human Resources Department. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Party Smarts.